meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life, because the Mets are really socking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York town. Oh, the butcher and the baker and the people on the streets, where do they go? To meet the Mets! Oh, they're hollering and cheering and they're jumping in their seats. Where do they go? To meet the Mets! All the fans are true to the orange and blue, so hurry up and come on down, 'cause we got ourselves a ball club, the Mets of New York town. Give 'em a yell, give 'em a hand, and let 'em know you're rooting in the stand. Meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life, because the Mets are really socking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York town, of New York town.
What's up, everybody? How's it going? What is up, Mets fans? I apologize for the delay, first of all. Of course, my luck, I literally got a haircut. That's why you guys can see the nice fade on the sides for exactly 9 a.m. this morning. I should have known better. I had a gut feeling that I'm like, oh my God, the Mets literally just signed Albert Amora Jr. Just over a day ago now, right at 9 in the morning. I should have known better. Right at 9:01, John Heyman drops this little bomb on me. So I apologize. I'm an hour and a half late here or so, but we're still going to have a great stream. We're going to probably go upwards of 2 hours. So I'm going to make up for it, I promise you. But huge signing here for the Mets in a lot of ways, in the sense of adding depth. This is not a blockbuster sign by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a great one. And I'm really, really happy about it. This is not a guy that I thought the Mets were originally going to go after. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the chat. First of all, so happy to have all you lovely Mets fans here as always. This is going to be a great discussion here. I'm going to break down everything you guys need to know about Jonathan Villar. If you don't know enough about his game, what he's going to bring to the Mets, what type of deal we're looking at, and what moves could soon follow for the Mets, as it looks like that more deals are imminent, either through free agency or through the trade market. So what's up, guys? Happy to have all you here. Ariel, Ryan, Trade Man, what's up, buddy? And yes, absolutely. Again, Matthew, how's it going, my friend? Vincent, thank you. I appreciate that. Trade Man, everybody. MJ Plays, Ethan, everybody. I apologize if I missed your name. Luke, Ray, Aiden, Matthew, how's it going, everybody? Again, Captain Frank, LGM, Anthony, happy to have all you lovely Mets fans here. Big sign for the Mets. I hear Villar's a headache, bro. Don't get too excited. Kyle, thank you for the donation. I appreciate that, my friend. I know that he didn't bode well in Toronto, but this is the exact kind of utility man the Mets have been looking for this offseason. And you got to realize he's not a guy that's going to be in the lineup every day. He's strictly a bench guy for them, and what he's going to bring to the table is huge. So if you guys don't know by now, the Mets signed Jonathan Villar to a one-year deal. It's still unofficial. Mark, how's it going, my friend? Happy to have you here. Brendan, what's up, everybody? Ash, and yeah, they signed him to a one-year deal right around 3.55 mil, including incentives, according to John Heyman. Again, John decides to make this signing. Well, the Mets decided to make the signing 9:01. Here I am at the barber game. I cut done literally for 9 o'clock. So I didn't even know about this until I got home. I'm glad. I appreciate if you guys are chiming in and have tagged me on Twitter, basically the signings. It really does mean a lot, you guys doing that for me. Helps me get to things sooner. So Elliot, how's it going? Again, everybody, happy to have all you here. William, how's it going, my friend? Again, really nice trade here for the not trade, signing for the Mets. They get Jonathan Villar on an MLB deal for 1 year, and this is a guy that just over this past season was playing not just short, but also was playing second base and center field. And Kyle, that's perfectly fine. We're not looking for the bat with this kind of guy. The Mets have the bats already. Villar's a guy that with this new proposed deal where you're going to have still a guy on second to start extras, which is beyond me. I think that's an absolute joke. So we'll rant about that a little bit in today's stream. But he's a guy you can have on second. He's a guy you can have in late inning games, especially as a pinch runner. He's a guy that still can provide some with his bat. You're not expecting a lot, but you're at least getting something. And this is just such a smart signing for the Mets, in my opinion. They get their utility guy. I would assume that they're out on Marwin Gonzalez because I know that he has a big market. A lot of teams showing interest in him, but I'm perfectly fine with this. And this does set up the table for something bigger should the Mets go down that route. So I would expect more moves for the Mets coming soon, but another very, very smart depth signing for anyone that's been following on knows how smart and strategic this is of a guy that at the age of 29 is still a speed demon. He had 16 stolen bags in the short 2020 season, which was the second most in all of the MLB, other than Mondesi, who is another speed demon for the Kansas City Royals, as we know. Prior to that, in 2019, he had 40 stolen bases. This guy can steal bags. He still has the legs. He's not like he's in the twilight of his career. His bat isn't what it once was, but he can provide the defense plenty, gives the Mets plenty of options from the bench and in this overall utility role, both on short and second. Center field. Oh, am I in love with this? I really am. There's nothing that really rubs me the wrong way about this. This was such a smart pickup. These are the kind of utility guys you need, especially late in games for a team that has World Series aspirations, or at least is trying to get there sooner rather than later. Al, how's it going, my friend? Happy to have all you here. Jack, make sure you focus on Ken, buddy. Again, though, guys, if you do, in fact, like this signing, please let me know in the chat and make sure to smash that like and subscribe button. As always, guys, help us get a 5K subs. We're literally just around 20 away, which is blowing my mind. So make sure to hit those buttons and help us get to 100 likes. All right, guys, can you check out 40 subs? All right, Jackson, I'll give you a pass, my friend, but in the future, I'd appreciate if you didn't self-promote here in the chat, just because it's kind of a respect thing. But I'll give you the pass, my friend, for this one, okay? Okay, here we have show the cut. My hair's kind of a mess right now. You know, you're not gonna see a whole lot. It's gonna look nicer actually when I put my hair and, you know, do it how I want to do. But that's the cut. But yeah, no. Again, very, very happy about the sign. He can play third base as well, Villar. Yep, he can play basically all that infield. He can do a lot for you. The fact that he can play center is also very enticing. It makes you wonder, okay, if the Mets are going to utilize him, how are they going to do it? You're obviously not going to prioritize him at short because you have Lindor there. At second is a guy you can toy with late in innings, but he's a guy that really they may toy with in the center field, maybe more often than not, even with that not necessarily being his primary position. He has the speed to make it happen in center, and it's really nice to see. Again, very happy about this deal. He can steal some bases, he can get on base when needed, and he's a guy that coming off the bench you cannot go wrong whatsoever. So appreciate all you guys being here as always. Really does mean a lot, Mets fans. Again, I apologize for the delay that I'm starting this up an hour and a half later. Trust me, I would have started this thing right after I initially saw it, but I didn't see it until I got back home from the barber. So it is what it is. Josh, what's up, my friend? How are you doing, buddy? All right, I'm just reading on your comments here. Again, very, very happy about the signing. I want to know your thoughts as always, guys. Okay. Yes, Randall, I completely agree. A very nice depth pickup. Nothing wrong with this at all. No problem, Jackson. Again, we're good, buddy. It's just a respect thing. Like most people, a lot of other YouTube channels will probably just kick you out of their chat right away. It's just like one of those unwritten rule type things. So again, no ill will, buddy. I'm just telling you for future reference. That's all. But yeah, guys, let me know in the chat if you are a member as well, like Kyle's doing. Make sure to put those thumbs up here in the chat. I would love to see it. I really, really like this deal one more time. As a Pirates fan, I think the Adam Frazier would be a great fit with the Mets. He can play Adam Frazier's another solid option too. I'm not sure if that's a route that they will go down, considering they just kind of got their super utility guy in Villar, but they still have their options. And I like this a lot. When you're looking at this bench, it's already looking better by the day. And you're not looking for a hot bat coming off the bench, even though it'd be nice. They can still do that, but Villar is a guy, again, you're not getting him for his bat, you're getting him for his glove, you're getting him for his speed, you're getting him for his versatility. He is definitely one of the better players in all of the MLB when it comes to being versatile and still having speed. You know, he's one of the best guys in the league when it comes to speed coming in the infield and the outfield, and I cannot be upset about this whatsoever. There's no other way to look at it to really make me think that, okay, now this is a bad move. A one-year deal, 3.55 mil would incentive sign me the hell up. Very solid move for the Mets. Again, another strong depth piece that just makes more sense in more ways than one for this team that has a lot of aspirations going into this upcoming year as to the type of damage that they'll be able to do. Maybe Castillo and Suarez blockbuster. Thoughts? Castillo feels far-fetched to me right now. I think Ray would be more likely because I know Castillo would take a haul. That's one of those wait and see situations. Chances we get Brian and Hendricks. I think there's still very much look, guys, I'm not trying to give you guys false hope or anything of that nature, but I've been under the belief for a while that another type of multi-purpose trade could very well happen should they land the guys at the right price. When you look at the Mets not landing Bauer now, they still have plenty of money that they're able to do. They're going to go over the luxury tax threshold should they wish in this type of proposed deal. So whether that's the Reds proposition or that's the Cubs, it still very much is a possibility. And then when you look at them adding VR, it maybe only gives you a little bit more incentive to believe that yes, they're adding more depth so that way they have flexibility if they in fact part ways with a couple guys that are currently on the roster. So addressing third base, I still think is something the Mets are going to do, and addressing the rotation. I'm seeing reports as we speak that we should expect another thing fairly soon, whether that's today or tomorrow or the next day. Only time will tell. I'll be here to talk about it right away, but in a nutshell, I'm very, very happy about the signing. You cannot go wrong with it whatsoever. I agree. There's no downside of the signing. Swiss Army knife, absolutely. Have a feeling this sets the move, sets us up for something bigger. And I tend to agree with you, my friend. Okay, he can steal bases. That's one of the most important thing we need. Something we didn't have for a long time. Exactly. And the Mets have numerous guys now in this lineup versus last year that actually have speed on their side. Lindor leading the way, but you have VR as well, and you have a couple other guys there. Malik Smith is another guy that should he be on the roster, has some speed to his game. Albert Amora Jr. is above average with his speed. They have a lot of guys now that can really kind of balance things out with being a little bit more sluggish and having a speed game. So not against any of this whatsoever, guys. And again, very happy to have all you lovely Mets fans here as always. Really does mean a lot, guys. Make sure to smash that like and subscribe button to help us get a 5K subs, baby. Maybe we can hit it by the end of the day. That would be amazing. And also make sure to smash that like button. Let's get to 200 likes now. Thank you all so much in advance. Yes, happy B-Day, Mookie Wilson, indeed. I'll show you guys in a little bit for the people that haven't seen it. The Mookie Wilson and Bill Buckner dual autographed combined jersey that I have. Shout out to my guy, Joe, who was so kind to send it to me a couple weeks ago. All right, guys, let's not be idiotic here. If you don't like Trevor Bauer, that's fine, but, you know, be wary on the things you say in the chat. That's not the kind of look that I want here, guys. Okay, every time I watch your videos, I say to myself, I need that blue Lindor jersey. Go get it, Will. What are you waiting for? Do you think that the Mets will move Dom and JD to get a starter or a closer? For a closer, no. A starter, I could see JD. Dom is more unlikely. But now that is official, the Mets don't have a DH for this upcoming year. I'm really curious as to what they're going to do. I think Dom is not likely to be dealt, but still anything's on the table right now until the season starts, I would say. You know, it's interesting. I'm really pissed off, to be quite frank, that we don't have the DH. You guys know this. I've been preaching it all offseason long. The Mets need the DH and would benefit from it more than any other team in the league, in the NL at least. And I don't think there's much argument there. They were the biggest team advocating for it and have been throughout their fan base, including myself. So to see them make this deal come to finalization now, where you're going to have extra runners after, you're going to have a runner on second to start extras. That's basically, it's a death sentence to the opposing team that's pitching versus the team that's batting right away. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. It really, really ticks me off, to be quite frank. Part of baseball is, yes, it's a long game, but if you're a true baseball fan, you don't mind the fact that it's a long game. You enjoy the fact that the baseball game is a long game. It brings more intensity, especially as you get in crunch time and the seventh inning stretch and beyond. So to see them shoring up this, I understand why they're doing it, but I don't agree with it personally. And for them to connect the DH with the expanded playoff format, I know why they did it, because the Players Union would like to use it probably in the next CBA, which is going to be coming up in December, but it's still frustrating. It's something I'm very much not in favor for, and I really, really think that the Mets not having the DH this year and not finding out until now, as we're just a couple weeks away from spring training, is nothing short of a joke. I think it's beyond idiotic. I think it's embarrassing on the MLB's part to have the audacity to go out this long without any certainty, and now you make it certain it affected free agents market. It still affects their markets. It's an absolute joke. It's February 9th. We should have had this decision made months ago. And anyone competent within the organization, the MLB, would have had that decision made. But as you can tell, they have their priorities elsewhere. So what kind of prospects would we have to give up to get a guy like Suarez and Bryant? If it's a Suarez and Bryant, well, that's the thing. If you're talking about just them, that's a different story. Because Bryant, if you're just going for him and not Hendricks, that's definitely a full-on rental. So you shouldn't have to be giving up top 10 prospects. You really shouldn't. If you're doing a dual deal with Hendricks, then it's a bigger deal, but even then you probably get away with not going past a 9th prospect like the Lindor deal. Suarez, same situation, but Suarez has control on him. So as of right now, if you're weighing the two, Suarez has more actual value than Bryant because Bryant is a rental if you're doing one or the other and not a combined deal with pitchers involved. I know the Mets are still in on JBJ. I just don't know how likely it is. Could they still land him without the DH? Sure, but it's like, okay, if you're landing him, then you're for certain getting rid of one of Nimmo and Dom. There's no other way to look at it. And yes, the Mets are projected to win 95 games, which is great. I don't really give a damn about projections in that aspect, but it's nice to see that they are getting some nice looks from the rest of the league as to how they're going to perform without the roster even being solidified yet. Okay, here. I'm just reading more of your comments, guys. Again, very, very happy to have all you here as always. Very happy about this signing. I really am. I think we do a trade at the trade deadline. Tyler, will you stream on that day? Oh, on trade deadline day? I'm very much confident that I'll be streaming on that day, yes. And that's a ways away, but yeah. I'm going to be covering the Mets during that time, obviously, so it wouldn't surprise me to see me devote that entire day to a live stream, for sure. I do the same thing in free agency. I did when free agency started for hockey on my other channel as well. Very confused why Jose Ramirez is not on the block. I think he unofficially is, honestly. I think he's a guy that if Cleveland really gets a nice haul, that they will consider it more. No chance to sign Bryant after the season. I never said that. But again, if you're trying to acquire Bryant, guys, you have more ability to obviously extend him than him hitting free agency. If you worry about trying to go after him free agency, one, you have an uphill battle again where you're going up against plenty of other teams that are interested in him. It's going to be a flooded free agent market, which could bode them well in acquiring Bryant because there will be other big names out there, assumably that they don't all get extended, right? But in that situation, I would think it would be best for the Mets to do what they did with Lindor here, or if they go down that route, do a package deal. It gives them more time. It gives them a whole season to work about trying to get a deal done should they not get it done prior to the season actually starting. So, like, if the Mets decided that they didn't trade for Lindor and wait until he had free agency, there's no guarantee if you're going to land him. That's been evident with George Springer and Trevor Bauer. It's no different. So, I think getting those rights for at least that year can definitely bode them well if they go after another rental like Bryant as an example. Yeah, at least the Phillies have Zach Wheeler who rakes and the Mets have DeGrom who rakes. Yeah, I mean, that's one way to look at it for sure. Need DH, not those other dumb rules. I know. I completely agree with you. You're preaching to the choir. Anyone that is upset about the DH not happening, I'm right with you. Or a good show, as I'm a Dodgers fan. Appreciate you, Randall. Thank you for being here. I do like the Mets. Love to see LA-NYM in the end. That'd be great. Both teams need a third baseman. Turner, Bryant, or Suarez, I think that is a choice for both teams. I completely agree, Randall. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Turner in LA, given the fact that they are around, 16 mil over the luxury tax threshold, if my memory's not mistaken. So, yeah, I'm not against it. I'm pleased with the Mets acquisitions this offseason. We look competitive. Of course they do. Yeah, the Mets are a playoff team. There's no doubting that. And they're still trying to take themselves to another level. So we'll see what they do here. Could we trade for Bryant and still extend everybody, that being Lindor, Conforto, and Bryant? Is that possible? I mean, I would be far-fetched to believe that the Mets would trade for Bryant without that belief. It would be kind of odd for them to go for Bryant as a rental and knowing that, they really have no chance of extending him. The Mets can extend all those guys should they be in the position where they land Bryant. If they do land Bryant, then I'm under the belief that, yes, they can extend them, or at least most of them. And that'll be curious as to see who they prioritize over others. But Lindor's leading the way, Conforto, and then you have Stroman and Thor that you have to worry about also. So again, those are things that the Mets are very much aware of. Billy Hamilton is a completely different story here. You gotta realize that. Jonathan Villar does have a better bat than Hamilton. He's been stealing more bags than Hamilton, if I'm not mistaken, because he was second in the league in stolen bases and had 40 bags in 2019. And he brings a lot more versatility. Hamilton, all you get is outfield depth. With Villar, you get infield and outfield depth, which is telling that that's a great pickup. DH, huge fit for Mets, but also Nationals with Schwarber. For sure, yeah. But again, now that we're not going to have a DH, it's going to hurt all these teams that we're hoping for. No doubt. Tyler for baseball commissioner. Yeah, sign me up. I'll be doing God's work here for us all. Trust me. I don't think I would make anyone upset. Or at least the majority I wouldn't. So stupid. Both sides want the DH, but both sides are using it as bargaining tool. I know. It's beyond frustrating. I've really beat a dead horse there at that point. So, you know, I'm not going to touch on too much more with that. I'm very frustrated. I really am. But it is what it is. What can I do? All I can do is rant about it at this point. I'm not upset by any means with this pickup. Awesome, buddy. Appreciate you, my man. Happy to have you as always. Who you rather have, Suarez and Gray or Bryan and Hendricks? You know, I keep seesawing with that, so I'd say stay tuned. There's a good chance I do a video on basically weighing those two options, what I think would be either the most realistic fit or the best fit for the Mets. But I do keep seesawing on it. I've answered that question a couple times. Do you change your background every time for hockey and baseball? Yep, James, every single time. I did it right before I started today's stream. I want the Mets to make a trade for Jose Ramirez or Buxton and Barrios. Sign me up. I would all be for it, Sanchez. Very unlikely, absolutely, but would it be awesome? Yes, that's a pipe dream. I'm not against. Again, guys, though, for the people in the back that are just chiming in, the New York Mets have signed Jonathan Villar on a 1-year, $3.55 million deal, including incentives, according to John Heyman for the MLB. And this is a great pickup for the Mets. For you guys that don't know, Villar, again, 29 years of age, is a guy that doesn't have the best bat, to say the least, but you're not looking for that with him because he's strictly a depth piece here off the bench that can help you late innings in games, can be your extra runner on second and extra innings, for example. Should the Mets be batting in that situation, it feels inevitable that will happen at some point this year. And you get a guy that, even at the age of 29, was second in the MLB in 2020 in stolen bags with 16, had 40 stolen bags the year prior back in 2019, and he plays center field, he plays shortstop, he plays second, he can play third. You have plenty of flexibility there, and truly an ultra utility man that the Mets have been looking for. So I think that Marlon Gonzalez is probably out of the picture at this point, but again, for getting Villar at this type, VR, however you want to say his name, at this cost, you simply cannot go wrong. I'm really in love with this because of just the depth it brings. Depth moves are just as important as big moves at the end of the day. Doesn't matter how star-studded of an offense you have at the end of the day, you need to make sure that you have depth defensively and that you just have a completely rounded out roster to help you having World Series aspirations. It's telling. The best teams in the league, including the Dodgers that won it all last year, they had depth beyond belief, and that boded them well tremendously when it came playoff time. Oh, I left the Wardy NHL sign. That's perfectly fine. Look how easy this is. Look how easy that was, guys. Again, it's not like it really means much, but considering it was up already. But yeah, no, that's all I do. It's simple. The Mets have signed Almora, Loop, May, Martinez, McCann, McWilliams, Stroman, Villar. Yes, you're correct. And he is also a switch hitter too. I'm glad you brought that up. I wasn't thinking much about his bat originally, but again, a switch hitter you can't go wrong. You know, he's a guy that I'm very satisfied to see coming off the bench, to put it lightly. And thank you all so much for the kind words again. If you are just chiming in, make sure to smash that like and subscribe button. Help us get to 200 likes, guys. Help us get a 5K subs. We're literally just a handful away, which is beyond me. So if we could get there maybe by the end of the stream, that would truly be amazing. So thank you all again for the constant support, guys. Continue to let me know your thoughts. I'm going to keep reading and answering your comments. Do you wear the same clothes every day? Just kidding. Great channel. Thank you so much, Eddie. I appreciate it. And no, I don't. I mean, the jacket I wear because people kind of feel like they get bothered at this point if I don't wear the denim jacket. It's like my staple. But I have a rotation of multiple black shirts that I wear throughout the week. You know, I stockpiled on them because I like to keep things fairly simple with what I wear outside of wearing jerseys and stuff. So let's see. Could you see Nimmo in a trade package for Bryant? Yeah, I could. I for sure could, as long as that they're going to make sure that they add someone out there in center field, like a JBJ or someone else. National East Division is going to be awesome to watch all year. I agree. It gets better each year, it feels like. Yeah, VR is playing super utility role in Queens. Yep, exactly what I was saying, Trey, man. We literally already said that. That's exactly what he's going to be for the Mets. He's a guy going to come off the bench, can play numerous positions, both infield and outfield. It's a rare thing. There aren't a lot of guys that you are able to have that luxury with in your clubhouse, let alone your team. So, again, very solid pickup for the Mets. Very solid pickup. Has anything been announced yet if fans will be allowed at City? To my knowledge, no, Blaine. It's not something that I've been following religiously either, however, so that's something that I would have to do a little bit more research on. But I have not seen that, for certain that maybe this amount of people is allowed or whatever. It's New York at the end of the day. It wouldn't be all that shocking to me to see them only have a handful, let alone any. Villar could totally be a starting center fielder with the Mets center field options. I mean, he could. I don't think he's a guy that will be starting, however. I think he'll be strictly coming off the bench. I'm pretty hyped about the more of VR pickups. Awesome. Hopefully the Mets can put together a few more positions. I am under the firm belief they will do just that. No doubt in my mind, honestly. $4.99K, so close indeed, Aiden. That's nuts, guys. We're just around 10 subs away. Smash those buttons if you're new. Let's hit 5K on the stream. That'd be tremendous. Can't believe we're already halfway almost to 10K. That's beyond me. I'm beyond grateful, to put it lightly. Tough decision. That's stress-inducing as it's exciting. Yeah. If we get Brian, is he automatically getting an extension or do you wait? I would assume that the Mets would do all they can to extend him sooner than later, but he is a Scott Boras client, just like Conforto, so I feel that the Mets only have so much of an upper hand in that situation, as does Brian. What starting pitcher would you want the Mets to go after? Odorizzi, Arrieta, or don't even consider Arrieta. He's a guy that I don't even know why the Mets are considering. I get it that they want to weigh all their options, but even in a scenario where he's strictly, a short-term piece and a filler until Thor comes, it's not a guy that I would want the Mets to bank on, truly. I think they're just weighing their options, like they did with all the other guys this offseason. Between Walker and Odorizzi, I like both. I like Walker quite a bit, even though I know that Odorizzi many do believe is the best option out there. Odorizzi doesn't feel very likely in my mind, however. If they do land one more starting pitcher in free agency, something tells me Walker stands out the most, should he not go back to Toronto, because you can probably get him on a shorter term deal than maybe Odorizzi, and especially when it comes to AAV. Odorizzi's going to look for a good payday. Many believe him as the best and more consistent pitcher that is currently on the market, even with the injuries that he's endured lately. So take that as you will. I think the moves for Almora and Villar tell me they will not be trading for another bat as they cover themselves with defensive replacements in games for JD, Dom, and Nemo. That could be a possibility. I'm under the belief that they will make another big splash, however. Again, that's only time will tell if that comes to fruition, but I think these debt moves set the Mets up regardless. So if it sets them up to make a bigger move and it sets them up to just stay how things currently are. What's up, Maniac Matt? Happy to have you here, my friend. Appreciate you. Love jumping on the streams in between work meetings. Wardy, appreciate you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, my man. So are we just going into full depth mode now? I think they're doing the depth moves that we expected them to, but I also believe that, there's a fair reason to suggest that they're saying the table, they're playing the chess in front of us to make the right move to go for maybe a bigger move as the last big move of the offseason. So DH is out of the cards for the Mets now. It definitely comes off that way. So because of that, they're really trying to figure out what is all their best options going forward. Adam Duvall off the bench wouldn't be a bad pickup either. He's just not a guy I necessarily see the Mets going after, to be quite frank. I don't see it with the moves that they've already done. And yes, happy birthday, Mookie Wilson, indeed. I'm going to show the Mookie Wilson jersey again in a couple minutes for you guys. I haven't seen it. I would have it hanging behind me, but I really need to get a show box for it. I'm still waiting on getting that, so that way it will be up there constantly. Mets have about 90 mil next year of talent to keep the young core and keep Thor. That's with the assumption that they're going to go so far. So take that into account. That is not including any trades that can possibly happen. That is not including any other moves, possible injuries. God forbid they happen, but they are still realistic at the end of the day, among others. So I wouldn't pinpoint an exact number as to exactly what they're working with right now. Hopefully the Mets can really get a trade before the season starts. I'd love to see more bullpen depth plus starting third base. So do I. I completely agree. If they could somehow land either bring back Justin Wilson on a short-term deal or possibly go after Trevin Rosenthal if he does not go back to the Padres, I would love that. I really would. I just don't know the likelihood right now. I don't know how much they're prioritizing the bullpen still. We need a third base pitcher from either Cubs or Reds to compete with Dodgers. I mean, we don't need to, but it would make sense from what we've seen. Yes, I would agree. Guys, keep in mind, you don't just get to pick anyone to start on second in extra innings. It's the batter who made the last out that starts in second. I'm glad you brought that up, Josh, because that wasn't originally on my mind. Good point. At least the Mets don't have to be in like a situation where Wilson Ramos is on second. You know what I mean? The setup is so clean, man. Thank you. I appreciate that, Jay. You are years ahead of the viewers you have. I can see this channel really blowing up. Well, thank you kindly, Jay. I really do appreciate that, my friend. Very happy to have you here. You know, thank you. Yeah, I love this setup. It's simple. It's going to get bigger. I'm going to put a shelf on it behind me soon to add some more, you know, my Mets bobbleheads and stuff that people have sent me that have been beyond generous of sending me. And I'm going to get show boxes for jerseys that have been sent my way, among others. Yeah, I really appreciate it. What are you going to do with Beatty and Mauricio if we get someone like Bryant? That's a good question. That's a very good question. If they do, in fact, get Bryant and they sign him long-term, then Beatty is out of the picture at that point. So what do you do with him? At that rate, and same thing with Lindor, you know? That's a tough one. I don't have the answer to that currently. I really don't. Only the Mets do in regards to if they're going to still keep them and maybe try to work things out and just let them take their time coming into the MLB as more of a, you know, being more in a utility role, or knowing that maybe they can part ways with either of those contracts as they start to not look so hot. You know, it all kind of depends. I think it's a good issue for the Mets to have, no less, should they go down that route. Hey, Wardy, are the counting out Peterson? I feel like he did good enough to be a fifth star. No, I would say right now Peterson's still in the rotation. It looks like the Mets want to add one more rotation piece, which means at that point Peterson's still in the rotation. They got to have at least one lefty in there. I would be pretty surprised if they didn't. Not saying it can't happen, but I think Peterson deserves to be in the rotation as of now. I agree. Personal opinion on my end, but I personally believe the Mets did a great job picking up Almora Villar instead of Bauer. Saved a lot of great money. Again, yeah, the Mets definitely save money. There's no doubting that. And they would have had to have done a huge overpayment in order to land Bauer. We know this. Do I understand why they were doing it? Absolutely. But again, I do like what the Mets are doing. I think debt moves are tremendous. And I don't necessarily think they're done with debt moves either. Did I see Bauer's apology? I did. That's not something I really want to talk about, though, guys. Again, it's past that at this point. We should just move forward. Bauer is a Dodger. It sucks more than I would say him being a Dodger than an Angel, because that's a guy the Mets are going to have to worry about already being reigning World Series champions. Now you add a guy of Bauer's caliber. If he performs like he's done in the past couple of years, then yeah, he's going to be a problem. So that's the bigger issue in my mind with him, just the fact that he landed with the Dodgers being the Dodgers. If the Dodgers were on the same level as the Angels, it would be a much different discussion in my mind. So that's all I really have to say about that. It is what it is. He's donating thousands of dollars too. He didn't need to do apology, and two, he didn't need to do donations that he's doing. So, you know, the last thing I'm going to do is rag that guy all year long, because at the same time, most Mets fans will not be upset or, you know, everything that happened with the merch and stuff if the Mets landed him. So take that as you will. Oh, thank you so much for the sub, Andrew. I appreciate you, my friend. Mets possible extensions: Conforto, 7, just under 200 mil. Lindor, 8 years, 316. Syndergaard, 388. Yeah, I have a feeling they might go 10 for Lindor, though. I have a feeling they might go a whole decade with him. Hey, Rory, good morning. What's up, buddy? Happy to have you here, RVP. Just plug in. What do you think of this signing? Setting up a big trade? I think it very well could set up a big trade. I'm not going to bet the farm on it, but I think it helps them for sure. You get a great utility guy in Jonathan Villar, who can steal bases, second in the league in 2020 stolen bags, and prior to that had 40 stolen bags in the 2019 season. And he's a guy that can play both short, second, some third, I would imagine, and center field. A great depth piece to come off the bench for the Mets. I'd rather go after Suarez and Gray instead of Bryant, just because the team control and Bryant is a Scott Boras client. That's perfectly fair, Chris. I can't blame you for feeling that way. My dad wants us to get Rich Hill. What are your thoughts on him? Rich Hill would be nice. I wouldn't be against Rich Hill, but you're not getting longevity with him. He's been unbelievably injury prone throughout his career because all the blisters he constantly gets from his nasty curveball and all of his different off-speed stuff. Hill is a guy that I think would be nice, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't think he would be bad. He would definitely be more the depth option for the Mets. That would be a strict filler until Thor comes in. But you would hope for his sake that he's still able to stay healthy enough up until Thor comes back. There's more concerns with Hill versus some other options there as to if he's going to stay healthy. Yeah, Chris, I know he didn't do well in Toronto, but for what his utilization will be with the Mets, I think it'll work out for sure. It's getting them in and out safely. That's the bigger concern with stadiums. That makes sense. That makes sense. Again, we'll see what happens. That's a wait-and-see situation still in regards to people attending games. Do you think the Mets will make a big trade at the trade deadline? All depends on how they're playing. All depends on how they're playing. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, Wardy's on God's here. Brendan, I'll halfway there in what? In regards to 10K? I know, we're awfully close. I don't think we've hit 5K yet, but we're really close. That's for sure. And I'm beyond humbled and grateful to have all you guys here as always, guys. So thank you kindly. Again, love you all guys so much, my fellow Mets fans and baseball fans. Is Villar good? Yes. He's great for what the Mets are going to be using him for. Absolutely. You think this is another Luis Guillorme? I don't, because Luis Guillorme isn't as versatile as what Villar is. Guillorme can't play center field. Villar can. And Guillorme is a guy, who can play most of the infield, but that outfield factor really helps Villar's case here. What's up, Ethan? Happy to have you here, my friend. What's up, guys? And thank you all so much for the 200 likes. And we're so close to 5K subs, so make sure to smash those buttons if you haven't already. Really does mean a lot. Again, Luke, you're not looking for the bat with Jonathan Villar. Just take that into account. You're not looking for that. Lindor will get a 8-year contract extension from the Mets. Possibly. That would be a better fit for the Mets for sure, versus him staying extended till he's like 37. You have him extended till around he's 35. I would love that. I just don't know if 8 years is enough for Lindor. Only time will tell. Lindor is a guy where it's like 10-year extensions aren't that outlandish to believe, given the type player he is. What would it take to trade for Matt Chapman? A lot, Henry. A lot. A boatload. Something that I haven't even really fully broken down yet, because I think it's just very far-fetched. We all forget about Guillorme. No one's forgetting about Guillorme, Jack. He's another great piece for the Mets that could have a more increased role throughout the season. Yeah, Josh, VR is going to do really strong for the Mets and how they're going to use him. They're not using him for a bat. They're using him for a glove and both infield and outfield. Exactly the type of guy the Mets were looking for. Is he officially on the Mets? It hasn't been officially announced by the Mets, but it's unofficially official. Let's put it that way. It's probably just pending physical right now or something. That is yet to be official, but it's going to be made official. Who goes to the bullpen when Noah comes back and Peterson? Assuming that they add another rotation piece, you'd have to imagine that Peterson is the guy looking on his way out of the rotation, unless he is performing far better than someone else that's currently in the rotation. Or they go to a 6-man rotation through the second half of the year. Again, it really all depends on their performance and who exactly they acquire, whether it's more of a 5th starter or if they go after more of a middle of the pack, a 2nd or a 3rd starter. That will dictate a lot for them. Meatball sub. Mets need another starting pitcher. Who would be good for the Mets out there? Through free agency, Taijuan Walker, Jake Odorizzi have stood out. Some people like James Paxton. I've never been a huge James Paxton fan, however. But I think for me personally, those are the two that stand out the most in free agency. Outside of that, if you're looking at trade market, Sonny Gray. Now that we just talked about Kyle Hendricks among some others, Luis Castillo is the pipe dream option that I think isn't very realistic, however. Trade man. No, this is not a blockbuster. Trust me. I did not title this a blockbuster. I just said breaking news. Come on. Any move for the Mets is breaking news in my mind. Why VR when we just got Amora? Same type of player. No, VR is both infield and outfield. And steals bags like no tomorrow, which brings more speed to this team. Just another nice bat overall player to add on the bench. Should you buy DeGoat or Lindor? Oh, that's tough. I mean, if you don't have a DeGrom jersey array, you got to get DeGrom. You know, as much as I love Lindor, you got to go with DeGrom first and foremost, and then do whatever you want to do after that. That's my opinion. People are overhyping the VR signing. I don't think we are, Doug. This is a very smart depth move for them. I don't think that this is something, you know, that isn't worthy of being happy about. Let's put it that way. Very smart depth move for the Mets. Strictly a depth move. This is not a guy that's going to be starting every day for you. Beatty is supposed to be legit, but there's no guarantee that he would be in the lineup next year. There's no guarantee in that whatsoever. So that's a wait and see situation again. It really, really all depends. Again, look at how long other players normally take quite a bit to develop coming into the MLB. It's fairly rare, especially for Mets guys, to kind of come in out of the blue. Like Andres Jimenez was nice coming all the way from what, AA? I don't think he played much at AAA, if my memory's not mistaken, prior to that, before he hit the bigs. Mauricio, thank you for the kind words. I really appreciate it. Yeah, guys, if you haven't already, make sure to smash that like and subscribe on as always. Help us get to 300 likes. Help us get to 5K subs, guys. We're so close. You think VR takes most of the center field workload? No, I don't. I really don't. Feel like Dom Smith will be a trade chip soon for a potential Bryant Suarez deal. Thoughts? Again, I don't think that Dom is very likely to be dealt. I'm not going to say it's impossible, however. Them not having a DH is definitely making them weigh all their options. I don't want to see Dom go, however. If you can try to fit him in the lineup and really hope that in the left field that his defensive woes will not be as bad as what you're getting with his offensive production, then. Mike, does money go to my bank account when people send me money on here? Not right away, no. It adds to the payment that I get through YouTube, which is once a month. So I don't get it initially, no. Which sucks, but that's how YouTube payments work. It's once a month. Alonso is going to be a stud. There's no doubt in my mind. Yeah, I know Sandy said a few weeks ago. So, yeah, again, I don't think it's likely that Dom would be dealt. I don't. But like anything else, I'm not going to say that it's for certain cannot happen. Because there's only a few players currently on the Mets where I feel that there's literally zero chance that they are dealt. Yeah, I think that's what they'll do. They'll probably live with Dom in the left. But if they do, in fact, upgrade center field, if they do still land JBJ, which I don't really think it's very likely, but I could be wrong. That's just my personal feeling right now that the DH isn't an option. You know, Nimmo's dealt at that point because you're not moving him to left if you're keeping Dom. Yeah, Beatty's estimated time to perform in the MLB is 2022 plus. Again, if Beatty can hit the show as soon as 22, great. But I don't think the Mets are going to ever bank on their prospects coming right out of the gate and dominating right away. It's not an easy thing to do, and it's a lot of stock to put into something that's still very uncertain for a team that has a lot of high hopes as soon as this upcoming year. Do I think that they're going to keep Beatty though? Yeah, I think if they trade Beatty. We're going to know why, but it would be surprising. Jeffers, appreciate you, buddy. Happy to have you here, my man. Eric, what's up, buddy? Okay, thank God we now have depth, especially when every year we have those freak injuries. I know. Depth is key. Depth is key to success. VR played center field last year. Steve Cohen takes a nap. Wardy breaking news. Absolutely. You guys are funny. Who would be a big trade chip since there's no DH rule this year? Dom or Pete? Definitely not Pete. Dom, if anything, but still feels unlikely. And again, thank you all so much for the likes and the subs. It really does mean a lot, guys. Make sure to continue smashing those buttons. Help us get to 300 likes. It really mean a lot. And stop it with the choco milk. We're not doing that. Don't sleep on Jose Martinez. Yeah, another really good option off the bench for sure. Absolute. I'm trying to think. Jose Martinez. I don't know. I got him confused the other day. Martinez is a righty bat, is he not? Which means that he would smash lefty pitching. I believe that's the case. I'm just double checking to make sure. Because yeah, Martinez has really, really good numbers against lefties as a righty. Yep. Yeah. No, he kills lefty pitching. So another good depth piece. What if we just trade for Gray and then focus on bullpen help? Doesn't feel likely, Gavin, mainly because, you know, if they're going to go for Gray, they also showed interest in Suarez. So I think if they do a deal like that for the Reds, it would be more than just Gray. Where do you see Lindor in the lineup? He usually batted leadoff for Cleveland. I think Lindor, with the assumption that Nimmo is still on the roster, if he's not, then it's a different story. But I think Lindor would be best fit batting in the second or the third hole. I think the third hole would be great because you already have great setup mans as it is. If Nimmo's still on the lineup, he's an on-base machine. You probably still have him at leadoff. Then you can have McNeil at batting second possibly. And then you have the likelihood of there being a lot of scenarios where you have two guys on base with no outs. And Lindor can change his adjustment. He adjusts mid-game and depending on his approach where he's going to be batting either leadoff or somewhere in the order. I think the 3-hole would be great for him should Nimmo still be in the lineup because Lindor has more pop to his bat than both McNeil at Nimmo in this stage of their careers, respectively. And I would much prefer Lindor in a situation where you have two guys on than I would, to an extent, Nimmo and McNeil. I know that McNeil's an on-base machine, and same thing with Nimmo, but those are guys that do get a lot more on base than they do focus on their power. Lindor has more power than both of them, so that's why I would like to see Lindor in that 3 spot. Should Nimmo and McNeil be your first two? Just my personal opinion right now, though, with how things are currently shaking up with the roster. How many moves can the Mets now make before the start of the season? Your guess is as good as mine, Eric. That's something that we're going to wait and see. They still can make more moves, though. That is for certain. You know, Villar's 2019 stats were really nice, especially for a guy that's strictly your bench piece now. What's the word on going to games this year? How are they working with that? RVP, I really don't have a lot of detail on that, to be quite honest. I'll probably touch on more in another stream once we have more detail, but there's still plenty of uncertainty there. SNY YouTube announced that the Mets signed Villar. I'm sure they did. And the defense is Alonso, McNeil, Lindor, Davis, and Smith, Nimmo, Conforto. That is the worst defensive team in baseball. I don't think it's even close. It's not great defensively for sure. Yeah, no. If you're still having Davis and Nimmo as your starters and Smith, there's cause for concern. And there's fair reason to believe that's not going to be how the opening roster starts out. Are you going to do like 2021 season predictions for the regular season? Records and I'll probably do some type of predictions video, yeah, as the Mets are finally done with their offseason moves. Where like everything is finally out of the way. It might take some time though. It might really get closer to the season starting. Did I play Little League as a kid? I played baseball when I was a kid. I was god-awful. Absolutely god-awful. It just... Unfortunately, I didn't stick with it. I'm far better at soccer than anything else because I'm really fast. But, baseball I just didn't stick with. Baseball is more of a recent love for me than it is a long-term one. I really started following baseball heavily over the past 6-7 years. Yeah, no, Mets are doing great with their depth moves. No doubting that. And again, guys, thank you all so much for being here again. It really does mean a lot. As always, make sure to smash that like and subscribe button. Help us get to 5K subs. We're literally so close. I'm sure we're right around there. And seriously, thank you all so much in advance. And help us get to 300 likes, guys. It really does mean a lot. How I answer that, Ray? I prefer Suarez and Gray over Bryan and Hendricks, but I saw something that the Reds were asking the Nationals a lot. I did see that. I saw that they were asking the Nats quite a bit for Suarez, but I think that was strictly Suarez. However, I don't know if the Nats were in on Gray too. They could have been, but I don't know. That's something I have to double check on. Think we need to focus on third base and the pitcher and go all in for a trade. I agree with you. I really do. Mets are looking good. Is likely going to be the lefty starter. I don't think Lucchesi is going to be the lefty starter, however. I think that would be Peterson. I really do. They have only ready starters. Nimmo is an on-base machine. He absolutely is. That's why we all love Nimmo. Wardy, what's up, man? I want the Mets to get Walker. Check his stats. Oh, I've checked them plenty, John. Trust me. Yeah, no, I'm not against Walker at all. Should they add one more starter through free agency? Do you think the black uniforms, I think you meant to say, I think you said, are the black uniforms coming back? If so, yes, I'm under the firm belief they are. Just randomly found the channel. Glad I did. Thank you so much, Joseph. I appreciate you being here. Let's go Mets, baby. Do you think that we're going to make another blockbuster trade? I do. I do. But I'm not trying to give you guys false hope. I'm really not. I've been under this belief for a while now. And I know that my gut feelings have not exactly lived up to the hype. Like all you other Mets fans, between Bauer and Hand and Springer, because the writing was on the wall for basically all of them at some point, one way or another. So, again, I'm not trying to give you guys false hope. You're asking for my personal opinion. That's my personal opinion. Do I think the Mets will win over 100 games? No. As of right now, no. Luis, no, I needed confirmation. That's the thing. I needed more than just one report from Heyman. But yeah, no, you're not wrong. The Mets organization is considering to try Beatty at first. Will this transition be easier for him? Oh, Beatty at first. I don't see how that would really make sense for them. Unless they're in a situation where they don't have one of Dom and Pete in the near future. I don't know how I feel about that. Is Malk Smith going to get a look? He for sure is going to get a look, I'd have to imagine. I'd expect spring training is going to be very key for him. Which third baseman are you the highest on as a fit for the Mets? Highest on as a fit? Between those three, I'd probably say Suarez as highest on. Most unlikely is definitely Ramirez, probably. And Bryant's right in the middle. As of now. What's up, Wardy? How's it going, Ernie? How's it going, my man? Happy to have you here. Do you think Mets can and will win the division? Oh, yeah. I think that they have a strong shot at winning the division. And I think by the time this offseason is officially rounded up, they're going to be that much closer to really solidifying that, yes, we're the top dog in the division. Let's see here. Villar is an excellent bench player. I couldn't agree more, Brooklyn Mets. Couldn't agree more. They should get JBJ and stick Nemo on left. That will improve the defense. You're definitely right, Leo. You're definitely right. But what are you doing with Dom Smith then? That's the issue currently. Bryce, thank you so much for the sub. Did we really hit 5K subs, guys? If we did, thank you all so much. I'm beyond grateful. Happy to have all you lovely Mets fans here as always. Trust me, this is just a beginning. Look, we're 2 months and just over a week into the channel. We're at 5K already. That's really mind-blowing in my mind. I'm beyond grateful. So seriously, thank you guys all so much. Again, if you're new, please make sure to smash those buttons. If you like consistent Mets content, really look no further. We're going to be doing a variety of topics throughout the season and beyond. And again, so happy to have all you guys here. Thank you all so much. I'm beyond grateful, truly. Seriously, very, very grateful, to put it lightly. Thank you all so much, guys. Every single one of you, thank you kindly. Juan, here with the dono. Hype in the chat for Juan as well for the donation. Thank you, buddy. I think not getting Springer or Bauer is a blessing in disguise. There are better options available through trade, and I think we have the pieces. Well, first of all, thank you again for the donation, Juan. I really appreciate that, my friend. And secondly, yes, they do have pieces and make trades happen. That is for sure. I like your optimism. I do. I hope the exact same for the Mets going forward, that it won't hurt them in the end. I completely agree. Thank you so much again, Bryce, for being the 5K sub. You're a G, my man. Thank you kindly. And again, thank you all so much for being here, guys. Make sure to smash that like, smash that subscribe button. Let's get to 300 likes, baby. And I'm going to continue answering you guys about your thoughts on Jonathan Villar and the signing. Wardy, has there been a recent talking you have heard but the Brian Hendricks possible trade? Al, again, thank you so much for being here, buddy. And secondly, recent talks I have not seen. The most recent that has been reported that I've seen has been through the Toronto Blue Jays up until Semien signed with them. And since then, you've seen articles going around basically more about opinions through a lot of different Mets articles, Mets type sites, where they're saying that this very well could be a pivot should they not do the Reds option, if it is still, in fact, an option, if they're weighing the two. John, thank you kindly for being here, buddy. Do you think that Bauer snub motivates a guy like Steve Cohen to be even more aggressive? Oh, absolutely, John. Absolutely. Absolutely. In the smart way, right? Not in the impulsive way. In the smart way. Do you regret picking up McCann over Real Muto? No, not at all. I'm not under that belief, at least. Look, Real Muto, look how long it took him to get extended, all right? If that was the case, should he have landed with the Mets? If it really would have taken that long for him to weigh all of his supposed suitors, right? The Mets would have missed out on a lot more this offseason, possibly even the Lindor trade for all we know. So I've always been a big James McCann fan, so I do have a soft spot for him, to be perfectly honest. But no, I don't. I think that McCann was a very good pickup. Roughly 1,000 less innings on his knees. Sign me the hell up. James, VR makes a lot of sense for the Mets as an ultra utility guy. So again, it makes a lot of sense for them. Trust me. He plays outfield and infield, which is key for them. And Pedro, thank you so much for being here as well, buddy. I really appreciate you. Appreciate all you guys as always. Yeah, thank you all for the hype, guys. I appreciate that. You guys are awesome. Here, just read more comments, guys. Just bear with me. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I saw that they predict the Mets to get 95 and the Braves 82. The Braves get snubbed every single year. I'm not buying that for 1 second, honestly. The Braves are a damn good team. Do not overlook it. If Mike Soroka is healthy, watch out. Soroka, I think it's easy for us Mets fans to forget because he was out with injury that he was becoming one of the best up-and-coming pitchers in all baseball. A healthy Braves rotation, a healthy lineup is a deadly one. Do not underestimate them. As good as this Mets team is supposed to be, the Braves are going to be damn good as well. Is MLB playing all 162 this year? As of right now, they are. That all definitely depends on if there's going to be any delays that happen, which could be a possibility, again, given all the circumstances, but I hope for their sake that they do have a full season. What do you think about Train, Dom, or Nimmo if we get JBJ? Well, you would have to at that point, Jeremiah. You wouldn't be able to keep them both. Yeah, because of the new haircut manual. Yeah, that's fine. Maybe, I don't know. Either way, I'm very grateful to have all you guys here, so thank you kindly. What good players are free agents next year? Oh, baby, you're asking for a long list. All right, I'm going to just tell you the guys I know off the top of my head. You still have Lindor until he gets extended, right? Conforto until he gets extended. I think they will be extended, though, so take them out of the picture. You have Javi Baez, Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant. The big three from the Cubs are all free agents after this year. Then you also have Trevor Story still, if he doesn't stay long-term with the Rockies. You have Nolan Arenado. He can opt out, even though I don't think he will. That's still a possibility. You have Carlos Correa. You have Alex Bregman. You have a lot of big names, big infield names to be exact, and that can be free agents next year. It can be a huge market. Where do you think Lindor has a chance to be the best Mets player in history if we sign him to an extension and he plays like yet? And Lindor could definitely go down as one of the best Mets, even at 27 already. And Richie, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And, 5K hype indeed. Very happy about that. Thank you all again kindly. Would I trade Dom Davis for Ramirez? As much as I love Dom, I would do that trade in a heartbeat. Because I don't see Cleveland doing that. The Mets would win that trade. To this day, the Detroit Tigers have been on record saying that dealing Eugenio Suarez to the Reds that have been their biggest regret to date. Keeping that in mind, does it make more sense to trade for him? I mean, you look at the numbers yourself. The Tigers, regardless of that belief, that shouldn't factor into, if that makes it more reaffirmed that we should go after him. He would definitely be an upgrade for the Mets. Definitely would be. And yes, JBJ does in fact seem more unlikely because there is no DH. He felt like more of a likelihood with the DH. Without it, the only way the Mets land JBJ still is if they trade away one of Dom and Nemo. There's no other way about it. Do I like this signing or the Almora one better? I like this signing better than Almora just because you get more versatility with him. Are we happy getting Lindor? Absolutely. Absolutely. To say I'm happy is putting it lightly. That's why there's a frame of Lindor on the wall behind me and a jersey now. What do I think about Roberto Ozuna? I think he's a guy that the Mets are not going to pick up, especially with everything that's transpired with them this offseason. Ozuna, given everything that's transpired with him in his personal life, not the type of guy the Mets should target. Okay, let's see here. What move do you think is next for the Mets? Tough, Mason. It would be kind of easy to say that they're going to just do another depth move to add more depth. I think a trade is possible too, however, if they go down the bigger trade route. What's up, Ori? What's up, Ryan? Happy to have you here, my friend. Appreciate you. Let's not forget that, yes, Villar is a switch hitter with identical numbers from both sides. A late innings nightmare for a manager. Yes, I completely agree. Lots of Cubs stories from Jed Hoyer, a Cubs team president. He has had talks with Bryant, Rizzo, and Contreras to reassure they are not going to be traded. Oh, yeah, I know. It's been going back and forth. But we'll see what happens. I think we would all feel more confident with the Cubs not doing anything should they have not already traded away Yu Darvish, but they did. So, there's reasons to suspect that maybe, some more things are going to happen with them. Taylor, thank you so much. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. It really does mean a lot. Thank you for being here, James. I appreciate you. To this day, okay, I read that already. I think I caught up. Okay. I did catch up. All right. Again, thank you all so much for being here. 5K hype. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you all so much again for the 5K. Now let's get to 10K. That really is the next somewhat short-term / long-term goal here on the channel. Yeah, no. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate that. Thank you all so much for being here. Smash that like, smash that subscribe button as always. Help us get to 300 likes. It would really mean a lot, guys. And again, guys, just to show you while we're here, I know that I've shown plenty of you already, but it needs to be seen one more time, considering it's the man's birthday. Shout out to Mookie Wilson. Happy birthday, my man. And shout out to Joe again for being so kind and sending this jersey to me. Another lovely member and subscriber, a good friend here on the channel, sent this amazing. If you guys haven't seen it already, combined, I'm sure many of you have already, but combined Mets and Red Sox jersey for Bill Buckner and Mookie Wilson. And it's just a thing of beauty. Dual autographed as well. Rest in peace to Buckner as well, because I know he passed a couple years ago. But just such a beautiful jersey. So shout out to Mookie again, the legend himself for the Mets on his birthday. And I hope he has a great day. So yeah, no. Just wanted you guys to all see that because I love this thing. I cannot wait to put this in a show box where I can put it on display on the wall behind me for all you lovely Mets fans to see every single day. Okay, let's see. Should the Mets sign get Ken Giles? No. To be honest, I'm not sure how much I'm in favor of Ken Giles right now. I have to look at his numbers too, which I can do in a second, honestly. Ernie, thank you so much for the donation, my friend. Guys, get some dono hype in the chat for Ernie. Thank you kindly, my man. Really does mean a lot. You've been a tremendous supporter here on the channel. I'm beyond grateful to have you and everyone else here. It really does mean a lot, guys. So thank you kindly again. Seriously, thank you so much. Let's get some dono hype here in the chat as always. But yeah, no, seriously, thank you all so much, guys. You've been tremendous. And we're so close to 300 likes. So make sure to hit those buttons if you haven't, guys. Okay, let's see here. Thank you, Daryl. I appreciate that, my friend. Just look up what's going on. As you clicked on, you know what's going on. The Mets signed a very strong depth piece off the bench now in Jonathan Villar. How the hell did you get 5K in a day? I didn't get 5K in a day, Liam. I didn't. I got roughly 1K in a day, which was insane, but not 5K. Yeah, no, thank you all so much again for the kind words. I appreciate all you guys so much. Let's see here. Read more of your comments, guys. Trevor Rosenthal should be the move and trade for Suarez and Gray. That would be an amazing cap to the offseason, if you ask me. Ow, my friend. Thank you so much for the other dono. I appreciate that, my friend. It's the tip of the iceberg. You are a breath of fresh air. Well, thank you kindly, Al. It really does mean a lot. Seriously, thank you so much, my friend. You've been tremendous. Thank you kindly. The Mets should trade for Luis Castillo. I'm all for Luis Castillo, but Castillo is going to take a haul. It's not a very likely scenario. Don't like this move. He's a good player, but not a good clubhouse guy. Team chemistry is very important. Enlighten me on what the clubhouse issues are supposedly the case with VR. I'd love to hear it. What do you think is the next move? I would either say another jet move, which kind of seems the trend right now, or they're staying up to play for something bigger. What will VR wear number-wise? I don't know. I'm trying to think what number was he last season because I don't know off the top of my head. Is Kyle Seager a possibility? A short-term possibility, yes. But not something that I think would make as much sense as other options for the Mets, however. But short-term, yes. But he'd be a rental because he's a free agent after this upcoming year. And the Mets would not extend him long-term. I wish they would get the next blockbuster ready. I hope so, Anthony. Trust me, I'm with you. I really hope it happens. Oh, Castillo would be an ace outside of Cincinnati. There's no doubt in my mind. Aiden, what's your question, buddy? And Robert, thank you so much for the congrats. I appreciate that, my friend. Do you think Braves will win NL East with the direction the Mets are on? They will have a strong shot, but the Mets are getting closer and closer to being the team to beat if they aren't already. Perfect finish for this offseason without trading Odorizzi and Trevor Rosenthal. What do you say without trading? I think you can make the case for either Odorizzi or Walker. Rosenthal, yes, I would. I think that would be fair. But then you're also maybe looking at third base still as someone. Merrifield has been talked about. Shouldn't the Mets go after Witt? He would be a great pickup, but there's just been nothing there. From everything that I've seen, he is strictly a hypothetical situation. Merrifield is a very consistent hitter. We know this, but I'll even just pull up Merrifield's numbers right now for you. He's a guy I've been thinking about a lot lately. To be honest, I honestly don't know. I really don't. Oh, Merrifield also is more of a right fielder than he is a center fielder. I'm not sure how well he is in center. That's something I would have to do a quick deep dive on. But if he isn't, too much of an upgrade at center over what we currently have, then it wouldn't make a lot of sense in that right at least because the Mets already have their right fielder in Conforto. All these depth signs, I think, might indicate a bigger trade because with no DH, they have a lot of must-be-a-starter guys as depth. Someone, Davis, Nimmo, Smith, may go. Again, Anthony, that's a perfectly fair belief to have right now with the moves that they're making. You need depth at the end of the day, however. You want a bench where, you can argue those guys can be starters any day. So regardless, I think it's a good thing what the Mets are currently doing. Will I be during the season? I'm assuming you meant live streaming. If so, yes. You personally don't like JBJ. He's inconsistent with the bat. Granted, you're not getting JBJ for his bat. That's the thing, though, Jeffers. I get there's been inconsistencies there, but you're not acquiring him for his bat because the rest of the lineup can make up for it. And he's going to see better pitchers because of how deep the lineup already is offensively. Wardy, what are your thoughts on a potential Luis Castillo trade, and what would you give up? Charles, it looks like I would love it, but it seems pretty unlikely. Would it be awesome if the Mets did a Luis Castillo trade right now? Yes, but again, it doesn't seem as likely. From the reports I've seen, the Mets have never directly been in connection of talking about Castillo. They have about his teammate in Sonny Gray, however. Yeah, VR won't be wearing number 20, that's for sure. And thank you so much, Josh. I appreciate you, my friend. I appreciate the kind words as always. He used to have dugout clubhouse altercations with his teammates when he was with the Orioles. Yeah, I'll have to do a little bit more of a deep dive on that, but again, I don't really think there's too much to worry about there just from the forefront without having any deeper knowledge. So I will do my homework, but I don't believe the Mets would have picked him up with the belief that he's going to hurt the clubhouse, especially as a depth move. It's not like it's a star type player where you're willing to handle some altercations or whatever because you know what you're getting. Yeah, Story doesn't seem likely at all. No. Jake Odorizzi's stats are very similar to Trevor Bauer. It would be a great signing. Yeah, I mean, Odorizzi, the issue with him is that he has been a little bit on the decline. He dealt with injuries this past year, as we know. Again, there's fair arguments to be either for Odorizzi or, to an extent, Taijuan Walker, as we just touched on here in the channel in yesterday's video, or going further on James Paxton. I would be much in favor of Walker or Odorizzi than I would Paxton if you're going down the free agent route. Yes, they are back with a 7th inning doubleheader. It's a joke. Absolute joke. Drives me nuts. Just feels disingenuous with the game. Big Meat Pete will be a bodyguard for the clubhouse. You're not wrong, Vincent. I can't say you're wrong in that, right? Yeah, no, it definitely looks like a possibility for sure. What's up, Michael? How's it going, my friend? Happy to have you here. Thoughts on the MLB opting for more pitcher-friendly ball? Oh my god, it's a joke, Connor. It's an absolute joke. Does this make any current players expendable, assuming this trend continues? Thanks. Great question. Yeah, no. From what I've seen, I know that they're going to be toying with the balls again, where it basically becomes more of a dead ball, as we're just approaching now what pitchers and catchers array in the spring training soon. Leave the damn balls alone. It's ridiculous. Between having, the juice balls a couple years ago, including this one that I have in my hand because this is from the 2019 season, I'm not in favor for it. It really drives me nuts that they're doing stuff to the balls. It can have a serious effect on the pitchers and the batters for sure. Which big name player is more likely to become the next New York Met in your opinion? Keep up the great work, Rory. Well, thank you so much, Reginald. I appreciate that. Which big name player is most likely to be next? Again, it is tough because as much as we've been reporting and talking about all the players the Mets have been connected to this offseason, it's like, look at some of these signings. Like Villar, was never connected to the Mets until now. It's tough. I would say, honestly, I think Suarez does make a lot of sense for them as long as they are still interested in that route. Would I trade a top prospect for third base help? Depending on who the prospect is, yes. You would give Taijuan Walker a shot. I wouldn't be against Walker either. That's why we talked about him in yesterday's video. Baseball does not need to tinker with the game. It needs to tinker with technology for the next generation. And they've been working on technology, but, not nearly as advanced as I would have liked them to be in certain aspects. Villar and Mets like a Nemo trade. What do you think? I don't think this guarantees a Nemo trade. I definitely don't believe that. Could this increase the likelihood? Sure it could, but this is a depth move off the bench for the Mets that gives more flexibility with the lineup currently and just on the bench as it is. Villar helps him both in the infield and the outfield and is a guy that can really steal bags. What's up, Lacrosse? What's up, my man? Happy to have you here. Back-to-back nights talking to you from here on my other channel. Awesome. Exactly. He's just like a Kike, just not as much upside per se. Kike was the most enticing utility guy. Most people would agree. Do you think we can do well by playing on more and center all year? Can we do well? Yes, but I don't see the Mets playing Almora in center all year. I would be very surprised if that were to happen. How far away is Brett Beatty? At least 1 year. In my mind, it's at least 2, however. Only time will tell on his development and with the current roster. Can we pick up a legitimate starter that will play every day? They will, Jeremy. Again, you got to realize these are depth moves currently. Just because it's not big name moves doesn't mean it's not smart moves. These are very smart moves for the Mets. You need these kind of depth players if you're trying to really compete. Last thing you want to do is have injuries and then you have literally no one to fill those holes. I'm all in favor of Marwin Gonzalez. I'm assuming that's who you meant, Aiden. Oh, wait, I think you said Marco Gonzalez, actually. Underrated pickup. He's been secretly good with the Mariners. I have to look up Marco. I don't have a lot on his game, to be quite frank. Is there a third baseman free agent you are looking at? I mean, that's obviously Justin Turner's leaving the way as a short-term option. But between his current relationship with Sandy, and we don't know what that is, and also with how much he would want term-wise, the Mets, I don't see them going past 2 years. Even 1, I think, would just be fine. But, you know, I don't know. I really don't know. At age of 36, the Mets have better options outside of the free agent market for third base, in my opinion. Appreciate you too, Ray. Happy to have you here, my friend. VR is a free swinger, so don't expect high expectations on his pinch hit ability. Brian, you're looking for defense with him, not offense. Dodgers fan here. Well, happy to have you here, no less. I think VR is going to play a lot more than we think. Could be. Again, it all depends on what other moves that they possibly make. VR is a switch hitter. Yep. Vincent, I hope the Phillies keep Arrieta. That's how I feel. I would think that if the Mets are going to get Chris Bryant in any way, it'll be by signing him as a free agent next year. That's possible too, Josh. You're going to have to pay a lot more probably than you would should you acquire him in a trade, and you're going to have to deal with a lot of suitors. Kind of sets you up for a situation where you're not going to be the favorite, unless you drastically overpay to an extent. Do you think Cleveland would be stupid enough to trade Bieber to the Mets? No. No, I would not. Would I have Hendricks or Gray for starting pitcher? I'd be fine with either one of them, truly. Hendricks has a more consistent track record, so you can give him the upper hand in that aspect. Rosenthal would be great in a Met uni. Lights out Penn. It would definitely get close to at that point for sure, yeah. Rosenthal would be tremendous for the Mets if they do in fact land him. What's up, Michael? Happy to have you here, buddy. Mets building solid depth options for sure. With COVID, you never know when you need to have backups. So that's another fair point too. We're ignoring the whole pandemic aspect of them getting tested constantly. We need some more depth on the pitching staff. Taiwan Walker next up. Free agency wise, I'm not against Walker whatsoever, and I talked about him yesterday for that reason. Yes, and we did hit 5K. Again, thank you all so much for the subs. Again, guys, it really does mean the world. Continue to make sure to help us get a 5.5K now. Now that's the next goal up until 6K. So smash those buttons as always, guys. If you're new, if you enjoy consistent Mets content, it really does mean a lot, guys. So thank you kindly in advance. And really just happy to have all you guys here as always. Help us get a 400 likes too. Yeah, I'll do more homework on Marco then. Interesting. Dom, I appreciate that. Yeah, no, the haircut doesn't look great right now. It really doesn't because the hair is basically flat. And trust me, it'll look a lot better once I actually have my hair how I want to do it. But yeah, no, thank you, Dom. I appreciate it. Love you, buddy. Thank you again for the package. It really does mean a lot. I'm looking forward to framing the right jersey you gave me. Yes, Barry, they're absolutely building a strong bench. Yeah, just because it doesn't happen overnight doesn't mean that they're not making moves. Are you going to watch this year's All-Star game and Home Run Derby on ESPN Channel 5? I'm sure I'll be watching those games, yeah. Are you a Jets fan? I'm a Steelers fan, but I like the Jets and Giants kind of respectively. I don't have an issue with either of the ones. It would be better if Bryant had a worse year with the Cubs than the Mets. Oh, okay, I get what you're saying, Josh. I read a Joel Sherman tweet saying that he will be a DH in doubleheaders. there will be a DH in double headers. How does that bet? That's so stupid. That's so stupid. Literally, it doesn't change anything. Even if that's the case, what the hell does that do? That does not help you every single game, which is what you need it for. Just a joke. Just an absolute joke. This league is really frustrating. Last good I feel the moves could really make is signing Rosenthal. That's fair, Michael. I think that there's more up their sleeve than just that possibly, but I wouldn't be against Rosenthal should they land him. Hey, what's up? I'm new here. Happy to have you here, buddy. You're a Dodgers fan. You're a really good YouTuber. Well, thank you kindly for being here, even as a Dodgers fan. I really, really appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. Get 10K before opening day. I don't know about that one, but it's definitely a goal, for sure. It's definitely a goal. That'd be amazing. Joe, what's up, buddy? Happy to have you here, my man. Who's my favorite Met? Conforto. Where's Flores these days? I believe he's with the San Francisco Giants. DH for double headers? What the hell does that do? What does that do? Just notice the framed tickets behind you. Oh, awesome. Awesome, Dom. Yeah, no, thank you again. You know, they do look great. I'm very happy to have them on the wall, my friend. Oh, do you think Uncle Steve will bring back the black jerseys? Yes, I do. What is the DH? Why? Why are we having DH for double headers? If you're going to have the DH, you should have it, period. Not just for double headers. It's so frustrating. God. Awesome, Mike. Awesome. Yes. Love to see it. I can see a Jays Mets World Series. So do I. I don't see that happening this upcoming year, but down the road I for sure could see it. Been here since before 2K. I appreciate you being here, Jack. I know you've been here for a while. Thank you. You've been subbed since I hit 300. Ethan, a real one, my man. Thank you so much. Thank you for the mention. No problem, Michael. Awesome. Thank you. Keep up the good work. Us Mets fans are all in this together. LGM. Absolutely, Michael. Thank you for the kind words, my friend. It does mean a lot. Yo, why though? Why do we have a DH for... I don't understand why the MLB has to be this incompetent. Like, the writing's been on the wall for so long. You're really going to put a damn DH, but only in double headers? Give me an effing break. Seriously. Congrats on reaching 5K. Thank you so much for giving us your love. I appreciate you. Thank you kindly. It means a lot. It really does. Herman Marquez. I completely agree about the DH. Makes no sense. It's just so frustrating. Brian, I appreciate you being here, no less. Yeah, you're an OG as well. Thank you kindly. Who would we get for VR? We didn't get any. We didn't give up anything. It was a free agent signing, buddy. Saw they also changed the baseball to try and cut down home runs. Yes, because for the Major League of Baseball, which is having major struggles with having younger people involved in the game of baseball and part of the fan base and the following. They have terrible marketing. All right, let's take down the home run ball, which is by far normally the most, entertaining aspect of a game to the average baseball fan. Yeah, let's dive that down. Let's see how that goes. Like, they literally need a new regime, a younger wave of people who actually know how social media works nowadays and what is more entertaining while keeping the game still traditional. Like, I don't get it. I really don't. Rory, sorry to join early. Nope, don't apologize, buddy. Happy to have you here. They're afraid of league's home run totals going up. I know. It's because we have to be afraid of that, right? It's ridiculous. You think there has been mistranslation of the DH tweet? Could be. I haven't even looked at it yet. So, what should I have for lunch? I mean, I'm going to have a turkey and mozzarella sandwich. So maybe something like that. If you like mozz and turkey. What's up, Sean? Happy to have you here, my man. Yeah, no, absolute joke. I can't get over what's currently transpired with the MLB right now. Bingo, Brian. I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to put that one together, right? Could be wrong, but I'm kind of have that feeling that's probably the case. And we'll be shooting themselves in the foot. What else is new, Will? Brewers. I know Brewers signed Jordan Zimmerman. Yeah, I know. Zimmerman has been a shell of what he once was for years now, though. Has dealt with the injury bug plenty since he was traded to Detroit. Thank you so much, Baseball Talk. I appreciate you. Thank you all again for 5K. It really does mean the absolute world, guys. I love you all so much. Please help us now. Now we get hit 5K. Now the goal is to get a 6K next. So I'm sure we'll get there sooner than later because this community has been tremendous in how much we've grown. So seriously, thank you all again. And I apologize for me lagging there a couple seconds ago. Hopefully it unlags here in a second. Oh, thank you, Mark. I appreciate you, buddy. Happy to have you here. I have a really good feeling about the Mets this year too, my friend. I know the stream's laggy. I know the stream's a little laggy. I apologize, guys. Software said, how am I going to piss off Tyler today? And here you go. I apologize for the lag again, guys. Trying to make sure I'm stopping the lag, so bear with me here. Do I think starting pitcher could be the next move? It very well could be. With VR sign, I don't believe the Mets will make a trade. I feel that they just stay with free agents. But that's a fair belief to have. Again, only time will tell. Let's see here. Wardy, according to Sports Track, there's 94 total free agents, and 3 of the 94 is coaches. And you should look at the list and see if any of them are... Well, plenty of them are appealing to me. You gotta realize that, Jose. But, you know, I'll double check it for sure. I mean, I definitely have basically been talking about the players that the Mets have either been connected to or could be connected to for more reasons than one because of what they've been doing this offseason. Charlie, thank you so much for the kind words, my friend. It really does mean a lot, buddy. What do we see here? Berjut and mozzarella doesn't get any better than that, Michael. No doubt. The game today is crazy. Teams put the shift and players today... players today don't even know how to bunt to make them stop. I know. Yeah, software is not having it today. He said F this man. Boo this man, I should really say. All successful teams have a good bench, and Martinez, Amor, and Villar, VR should say, gives us a great one. It definitely does. It definitely helps you. Okay, I decided I'm going to have a sandwich with salami, turkey, and cheese. All right, Jeffers, good stuff. Sounds good. I know, rest in peace to Pedro Gomez indeed. Yeah, I know. That was so unfortunate to see that happen. What about the DH? Apparently the DH now we're going to have it in just double headers, which is so stupid to me. I don't understand why you're doing it in just that scenario. It only messes up teams' game plans more often than not. So stupid. Aren't the Braves seeking a third baseman? Yes, there is belief that they could be seeking one. Yes. Preference on Walker, Paxton, or Odorizzi? If we're only doing free agents, I'm kind of Walker and Odorizzi. I'd be happy with either one. Paxton is not a guy I'm in favor of those three. Paxton, I have my worries with him, with his lack of fastball, among other things, and coming off of good injuries. Oh, Tom, thank you so much for being here, buddy. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the subscription. And me too, buddy. Me too. Hopefully they do, in fact, go down the trade route in some aspect like that. Yeah, I know, Andrew. It doesn't make any sense. Why are you going to say the Braves are only getting 82 wins? Even as a Mets fan, we can respectfully say the Braves are going to be damn good this year. They're going to get more than 82 wins. I feel pretty confident in that. Two men need to be dropped off the roster. How long do they have to do that? I don't know how long. I'm sure there's a certain timetable, however, Jerry. I just don't have the exact time in front of me. I apologize. Love the signing. Awesome, Robert. I'm all in favor for it too, buddy. Do I think the Mets could go after Bregman next year? all depends on if they address third base for a long-term option this offseason or not. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. Good luck with your Braves, too. We're at 5.01k subs. Awesome, awesome. Thank you all so much again. You all are tremendous. And guys, I'm going to be heading out fairly soon here. I apologize. I have to pick up my lunch as well. Ironically, I do have a sandwich I have to pick up. So, guys, I'm going to probably go on for another 5 minutes or so. So get your final thoughts in. Expect content on the channel here today still. Don't worry, guys. And hopefully some more moves that'll warrant another live stream possibly later today. So, again, get your final thoughts in over these next 5 minutes. Thank you all again so much, guys, for being here. It really does mean a lot. I love you all so much. Let's go Mets, baby. Thank you all so much for 5k subs. Thank you all so much for the likes. Try to help us get a 400 likes if we haven't already. And I'm going to continue answering you guys here for the next 5 minutes. But thank you all again so much for chiming in during this time. Robert, it's not. It is actually pardon me. It is a Levi's jacket when they did a collaboration with the MLB a couple years ago. Are the Mets more likely to get Bryant by himself or Bryant and Henderson a Patrick deal? I'd say just Bryant if you're saying what's more likely, considering the fact that they've shown interest in Bryant as it is. Hendricks is more of just the belief because they would like to address another starting pitcher in the rotation. So take that as you will. Gotta understand, my friend, Santos, Villar is not a guy you're looking to be your everyday center fielder. He's strictly a depth piece. I actually like the DH doubleheaders. I'm just frustrated it's not for... Exactly. It's beyond frustrating. Who agreed or decided to do without universal DH? The MLB. Because the MLB, both of them. Because the MLBPA denied the proposal that would include a universal DH and expanded playoffs. Yeah, I might be coming back this evening, guys, for sure. I'm going to try to get one video out today still, and possibly another live stream more towards the evening, towards the night. Something tells me we might see something else today, so we'll see. Thank you, Vincent. I appreciate that. You're funny. Thank you so much again, Dom. I appreciate you. Appreciate all you lovely Mets fans as always. Thank you so much, my friend, for the donation. It really does mean a lot. Here you have Rip Gary Coleman. Gary Coleman. Why am I blanking? Thank you so much for the donation, though. I appreciate that. Didn't Coleman just pass recently? Is that why you're saying that? As I believe I just saw that, right? Here, I'm going to double check because I thought I just saw that. No, that doesn't make any... Gary Coleman... Yeah, Gary... Oh, the Gary Coleman. I thought that's who I thought it was. Are you talking about Gary Coleman like the short Gary Coleman? That's a bizarre comment. But, you know, he's been passed away for over a decade now. Lacrosse, appreciate you, buddy, for hyping up the hockey channel as well. Yes, I appreciate that. Why are the Mets in love with Bryant? He is trending in the wrong direction. No, he's not, Santos. He had an injury that he dealt with in the short season, but he was performing right up to par again in 2019. I would not put much stock into his 2020 performance. He's only 29. No. David Price is the last pitcher I want the Mets to acquire. Hell to the no. Makes no sense for them. They don't need that contract, and David Price is a shell of what he once was. No way, Jose. Last thing I want to do is help the Dodgers in any way either. That would make zero sense. Let them figure out what they need to do with Price, not the Mets. And Will, thank you so much for the kind words. I appreciate that. Oh, Kevin, thank you so much for the kind words too, buddy. Occasionally I may talk about other teams, but this is a Mets-centric channel. That's for sure, Kevin. Other teams will probably go in hand with predictions or some type of trade proposals. So as of right now, it's still very much Mets-centric because that's how I like things. I'm really trying to build that platform here of eventually being the best Mets channel on YouTube. Or when you think Mets on YouTube, you think, all right, you're coming here right away. Amir Garrett could be available at the right price. I won't say it's impossible, but he would be costly. Thank you so much, Eric. I appreciate you, my friend. Matthew, whenever the physical and everything is finalized. Cubs say Chris Bryant is in a good place. Don't think he's going to be traded. He may very well not be. But, you know, there's reasons why he's been toyed with on the market already this year. Suarez trade, I wouldn't be against it. I hope that the Mets are still interested. Vincent, maybe maybe closer to the season, but not right now. Jack, thank you for the kind words, buddy. That means a lot, buddy. It really does. You're too kind. Love your word. Thank you all so much again for being here, Mets fans. We're going to close things out now. I will probably be live streaming later this evening, as long as a certain move doesn't happen with the Mets prior to that, because if that's the case, then I'll be live streaming whenever that would happen. So thank you all again, guys. Please make sure to smash that like and subscribe button as always. And thank you so much for the kind words, Sean. It really does mean a lot. Yeah, no, thank you so much, everybody. And now I'm going to close this thing out the only way I know how. And you guys know exactly what I'm going to be doing here. So thank you again, guys. It really does mean a lot.
Meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life, because the Mets are really socking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York town. Oh, the butcher and the baker and the people on the streets, where do they go? To meet the Mets! Oh, they're hollering and cheering and they're jumping in their seats. Where do they go? To meet the Mets! All the fans are true to the orange and blue, so hurry up and come on down, 'cause we got ourselves a ball club, the Mets of New York town. Give 'em a yell, give 'em a hand, and let 'em know you're rooting in the stand. Come on and meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life, because the Mets are really socking the ball, knocking those home